I look dead. I look like I've been dead in the ground for 5 days in every single picture taken of me. Which you might point out I look like that in real life, but I look even worse in the picture. So if you're white, then you end up looking kind of more pale in pictures oftentimes. I guess if you're black, oftentimes you end up looking darker in pictures. But I think that this has to do with lighting, and you could probably solve a lot of those problems just by positioning your camera differently and making sure the lighting is better. Just a thought. Now the gym memberships, the diets, the New Year plans have likely already faded away. There's still one plan worth keeping, growing closer to God. Meet Hallow, the world's #1 prayer app with over 10,000 guided prayers and meditations. Hallow makes spiritual growth simple and accessible right from your phone. Start your day with the groundbreaking Bible in a Year podcast featuring Father Mike Schmitz, who brings scripture to life in ways that you've never experienced. Join Jonathan Rumi from The Chosen for daily gospel reflections accompanied by insights from biblical scholar Jeff Cavins. Short on time, we'll try the daily minute prayer. Need help winding down? Explore their nightly sleep prayers. Whatever your schedule, Hallow fits into your life with customizable reminders, schedules, and supportive community to keep you accountable. This year, put your relationship with God first. Let Hallow guide you on your spiritual journey, one prayer at a time. Go to hallow.com/mapwatch for 3 months free. Hallow today. The NFL continued last night its alleged efforts to fight racism in the United States. Efforts that for the past several seasons, up to and including the game last night, has included writing the phrase "end racism" in huge letters directly on the field. And many people expected that this would be enough. We imagined that all the people of the world would see the phrase "end racism" written in the end zone, and they would all say, wow, you know, we should end racism would be ended, and global peace and harmony would commence. After all, racism only exists in the world because no one has ever suggested that it shouldn't exist. So we simply need the NFL to go, hey, what if we cut out that racism stuff? And everyone would respond, oh, so we shouldn't be racist? Geez, okay, well, we hadn't thought of that. And that would be it. At least that's what we thought. But somehow this strategy has proven insufficient. And so it has added, the NFL has added another prong to their anti-racist battle plan. And yet again last night, the Super Bowl began with the performance of 2 national anthems. There's the regular national anthem, the one written by Francis Scott Key after he watched British ships lay siege to Fort McHenry in Baltimore during the War of 1812. And then the so-called black national anthem called Lift Every Voice and Sing. This was the 3rd year in a row where the most watched sporting event of the year featured a special national anthem for one special racial group. It's the 3rd time the broadcast has featured the song, yet it's the first time that the song was performed on the field, which is significant because that's, of course, how they also performed the real national anthem. Now, all of this is, of course, totally grotesque and outrageous, and the kind of gratuitous display that no country outside of the Western world would ever be stupid enough to allow. And yes, I use the word allow here intentionally. You'll notice that nowhere else do they permit individual racial groups to come up with their own national anthems that are then performed before major events. That's the sort of thing that can only happen here. And I don't mean that as a compliment. Now, there are, as always, some people looking to defend the indefensible and minimize even the most outrageous excesses of leftism. There are even conservatives who enjoy participating in this pastime. There are many conservatives who love doing this. And from those people who we've heard that, well, the Lift Every Voice and Sing, it's a nice gospel song. It's not actually a national anthem, so there's no reason for us to object to it. They didn't call it the Black National Anthem during the broadcast, after all. They didn't specifically say that during the broadcast. For example, a guy named Ross Schumann, who identifies himself as a conservative, made this case to me last night. He tweeted, quote, "At no point in time was Lift Every Voice and Sing called a national anthem on the broadcast. Why do you take the left's bait?" Well, except that the NAACP has billed the song as the Black National Anthem since 1917. Not to mention, the woman who performed the song at the game, Cheryl Lee Ralph, said that she was performing the Black National Anthem. That's what she said. She posted, quote, "It is no coincidence that I'll be singing the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, at the Super Bowl on the same day it was first publicly performed 123 years ago. Happy Black History Month." So everyone, including the performer herself, knows what the song is and why it's being performed. There's a reason they had her sing it on the field, with the audience in the stadium standing in solemn reverence, just as they do for the real national. There's a reason why every media has hailed an inspirational rendition of the quote black national anthem. We all called it specifically. The media, the NFL, they're not celebrating the performance of a gospel. Okay, their intention is not to glorify God. That's not what they're excited about. Maybe the focus of the lyrics in the song, but that's not why it's included in the book. And that's not the intention behind it. The intention is to do the only thing a racialized national anthem can do, which is to divide Americans along racial lines, elevate some races above others. You know, some races are special and they get two national anthems, while the rest of us have to settle for just one, while diminishing our most cherished national traditions. Because the message of the black national anthem is that the actual national anthem isn't enough. It isn't good enough. It isn't inclusive enough. Like, nobody disagrees that black people should have a national anthem. No one is saying that, oh, no one is looking at black people and saying, you don't get a national anthem. This isn't for you. No, the point is that the national anthem is everyone's national anthem. So if you're a black person, that's your national anthem. If you're a white person, that's your national anthem. If you're Native American, that's your national anthem. It's everyone's national anthem. But the other message, the other idea behind this, which is just as false and just as insidious, is that the situation, this is what they're trying to find, this is why they're doing it, that the situation hasn't improved much for black people since the song was declared the black national anthem over 100 years ago. It was a rallying cry during the Civil Rights Movement. Well, bringing it back now, not just bringing it back, but elevating it to a status equal to or even surpassing the real national anthem, is meant to send a message that black people still do not have their rights, that the civil rights battle of 100 years ago is still ongoing, which is all total nonsense. And we see yet again that those supposedly fighting against racism are in fact determined to create racial divides, deepen them where they already existed, open new wounds and reopen old ones, and keep the resentments of the past forever at the forefront of our minds. The whole point of performing the national anthem, the real national anthem, is to, first of all, show our respect and gratitude for this country and for traditions in our country and for the people who have made all this possible for us. It's also to show our unity and to celebrate our national identity under one flag and one God. That's the point. But the powers that be don't share that. Their goal is exactly that. And that's what the Black National Anthem is really all about.
Give your business the best address online with GoDaddy's range of domain names. Choose from tons of domain names and fresh domain extensions to help make your business stand out from the crowd.
I'm the one who could be 100 different investors all at once. With eToro, I could be
12 weeks on TRT, 200 milligrams a week is what I'm taking, getting it medically prescribed from an actual doctor writing me a script.
How many people believe that?
I guess, yeah, you just feel like, I just feel like more of a man.
Treg, and in today's video, Alex Eubank is all in promoting HRT, testosterone, and so on. But a few months ago, he was the exact opposite. In his latest video, Testing My Strength 3 months on TRT update, you can clearly see bro is jacked. He put on a ton of muscle, and obviously, he's a lot stronger. But if you go back to his former videos, of which I have done, they didn't age very well.
The agenda in the fitness industry now versus what it was when I first started is so like different. I don't know, but it's weird. Kind of worried for just like the kids who are seeing people glorify like you're used to just like an extremely unhealthy physique, unhealthy body. Like your bodybuilding has its place in this world, and I think that's great. It's just that I know the fitness industry, and I know like the kids, like the demographic, and they're really young, and I know they look up to like that.
All right. And so a few months ago, he was against glorifying the use of performance-enhancing drugs. Alex Eubank is using testosterone, a performance-enhancing drug of which he doesn't need.
Alex, since you started taking steroids, I can't get to say that, bro. It just sounds so much worse.
You can debate me, you can argue with me. Bro had an amazing physique. Is anyone going to debate that? And so now that he's on steroids, namely testosterone, he's gotten a lot bigger and a lot stronger, and it's now being glorified. Remember, this is the guy that wants to use a quarter of the roses of your favorite influencer, but have a much better physique. And so what he was most concerned with, what was most important to him, was the younger generation, the kids, the teenagers, that they would see people who were glorifying the use of testosterone, and that they would perhaps want to do it. Let me read some of the comments. I am 9 years old, 93 pounds, and have decided to hop on TRT because of you. Love you, bro. You motivated my newborn child to take trend. Thank you. You taught me to ignore what other people say and do what makes you happy. I now enjoy heroin and don't care when people tell me it's a bad idea. You have inspired me to hop on TRT. I am 6 years old, 70 pounds. It's been great since then. I can't believe it, man. Love you, bro. I'm still in my mom's belly, but decided to hop on TRT before I popped out. Appreciate you, bro. I'm reading these comments in order as they appear. This is not me selecting, going through the hundreds of comments and picking the most outstanding ones. This is me reading them in order. Bro's whole channel is about TRT now. 8 years old here. This inspires me to hop on. Thank you, bro. You're a true inspiration, Alex. I am in my third bump of fentanyl and crack thanks to you, mate. 97-year-old, and after seeing this, I've decided to go on TRT. My test levels were in the dumps, and I felt like I'd lost my edge around the yard. Thank you for this inspiration. I'll bet every dollar in my name you are close to 2,000 on testosterone levels. A healthy, fit 22-year-old on 200 milligrams of test is crazy. Can't believe they started you at that. I'm 53, I take 100 milligrams a week and have no problem being over 1,000 levels. Never heard someone this young taking this much testosterone to start. And so the entirety of the fitness industry sees Alex Eubank as somebody who promotes and glorifies steroids. When you're as young as Alex Eubank and you already have an amazing physique and you take testosterone, I don't care what the dose is or what you say the dose is, and you then glorify it, you're promoting other people to take steroids. The video literally says, testing my strength, 3 months on TRT update. Yes, he isn't lying about taking testosterone. He's saying, I could have just done it in secret and never said anything. But does anyone think that he could have actually done it? That he could have just took testosterone in secret and no one would have noticed? Bro put on 20 pounds. He's making videos of how much stronger he is. You can clearly see it. And so he has to tell you, he couldn't have gotten away with it. Alex Eubank has become the person he would have despised 6 months ago.
People I'm speaking to is y'all consuming the content because you're most likely a professional young man. And like I'll say, Toki, for example, hopping on gear, glorifying steroids, UCC is like popular genetics. It's able to make things like unnatural substances.
It's crazy that just this little thing here is going to make me look phenomenal.
It's literally ruins not only like your physical body, but messes with your head. This steroid stuff is awful.
The fitness industry, he was calling people out.
I'm doing TRT. Some people even argue that I'm doing a high dose TRT to start. I'm doing 200 milligrams a week for about 8 weeks. I'm going to get my blood done. I'm going to see where it puts my testosterone concentration in my bloodstream.
And so just because he got a doctor to prescribe it, do you really think it's okay?
I did not want to get up at 6 a.m., but for some reason the alarm went off. In the Elysium gym, I fell asleep there because we were late streaming.
And so was he up late streaming, gambling? I mean, he met up with Togi, who was in Cabo. Was he gambling, betting, live stream? God! Damn it, dude, that never fucking again, bro.
Oh my god, dude.
Is that Alex Eubanks' new life? Toby's trying to convince him to up the doses. How do we know they're not already up?
You gotta up the dose.
And notice, it's a 3-month